Last week I was wasting my night away watching Netflix trailers because I couldn't decide on something to watch. And right before I gave up and decided to turn to doom scrolling, a new show caught my eye. Live to 100, the story of the Blue Zones. The Blue Zones, the 5 areas with the highest rate of living centenarians. Sardinia, Italy, Ikera, Greece, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Loma Linda, California, and
Okinawa,
Japan. All having several similarities such as plant-based diets, natural movements, and putting family first. And for the next 7 days, I'm going to be eating according to these principles. Why? Because I like living. So let's prolong it. First, breakfast. I made pumpkin pancakes because squash was in all these different cities, but I was lazy, so I just put all the mix into a pan and cut it up. And the people in the office point out that just makes it a cake, not a pancake, but it's got pumpkin in it. Lunch, I had a Mexican-style black bean bowl, and for dinner, I had a herb pasta, with chopped herbs sauteed in a pan with olive oil, and a little sun-dried tomatoes because it's delicious and inspired by Italy. The 3 different protocols. First, nutrition. Plant-based, wine.
What's the best tea to drink on a daily basis?
Wine.
And eating in moderation. The specific foods that show up in all of these different cities. 1, whole grains such as corn, wheat, and rice. 2, greens. 3, tubers.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Think sweet potatoes. 4, beans. I visited the old trusty Google to find a handful of different recipes that sounded delicious that contained all of these. It's October. I need to eat some beans. So what are we gonna make? Chili. I'm just realized I used to make chili all the time. So I just assumed I still remembered how, and it's been like 7 years. So if this recipe doesn't make sense, just know I'm winging it from memory. I'm gonna make this vegan, but I realized I had a little bit of ground bison left in my fridge. And I feel that would be like a perfect example of a Blue Zone's use of meat. It's like, it's not the main part of the dish. It's just like a little bit of it. So I'm not going 100% plant-based. I'm just being like mindful of more sustainable local meats and it not being the star of my dish. Day 3's lunch was the leftover last night's dinner, so I had that chili with some sourdough bread and butter on it. The second Blue Zone protocol, movement. 1, do things by hand, like kneading bread and chopping wood. Number 2, walks. 3, gardening, which ironically is very similar to strength, cardio, and mobility.
dark in here. There's no more LED panels.
Day 4's breakfast, we're going Lima inspired, which would be steel cut oats. Oh God, oh God. First time making steel cuts, oh Lord. With some fruit and honey, I decided to make apple oats. Which was oatmeal with some nuts, fresh produce of choice, apples, because they're in season, and it's just peak fall vibes. Now, something all the Blue Zones have, and is literally my biggest struggle, and you hear me talk about it so much because I suck so much at it, and that is sleep. And you're like, Keltie, I thought you were like the queen of sleep. I'm not. I don't like it. I never have. I've always been like,
Life's more fun than just sitting there with my eyes closed.
I don't want to be a part of it. And it's something I struggled with and sacrificed for so many years. And I'm starting to slowly see the negative side effects of it. I read Matthew Walker's book for sleeping. I listened to Andrew Huberman and Peter Attia, and they all link back to sleep. And if you want to live to 100, you gotta sleep. So that is why I've invested so much in my sleep. I don't even have a car. I've invested in a proper mattress, my 8 sleep pod, I've sleepy time tea, a night routine, having showers and saunas at night. And it is overkill, but it has drastically improved my life so much. And specifically, I had a health scare in August I'm kind of going through, and it really opened my eyes to my own morality. And of course, we all know we're gonna die one day, but it also made me realize my mom is going to die one day, and that messed me up so much more. So it has become my mission to not just learn all these longevity things for myself, but for my mom, my brother, my boyfriend, my best friends, because whatever happens to me, they have to live forever. How am I gonna try and make my mom live forever? Obviously I can't do that, but I'm like, her sleep. I want her sleep optimum. So I got my mom an 8 sleep mattress. Hopped on a plane from Vancouver to Edmonton to surprise my mom with her 8 sleep mattress during Thanksgiving weekend. I need you to sit, both of you, right there.
Both, do we sit right together?
Yes. Don't worry, I'm not pregnant, I'm not married, so don't think anything of that.
Where are my glasses, honey? What did I do with my glasses? I have to piece so bad? Do we look cool?
They're probably being recorded.
I think it probably is.
Happy birthday for my mom. I got you guys an 8-sleep mattress.
What the hell? How did you get it here? Oh, honey, that is the coolest thing ever.
Now, unfortunately, I was a bad daughter and had to go back home to Vancouver, not there to help my technologically inept family set up the 8-sleep mattress. So I thought I'm gonna live react to my mom and stepdad attempting to set this up.
Okay, Bill, we're gonna open up the 8-sleep.
Millie's like, I've had enough of your bull crap.
Don't put the knife right through it.
If that doesn't sum up parents, I don't know what is.
Safety first, opening.
Yes, towards your thumb and not your chum.
Life lessons by Mick. Dad jokes.
Need some help?
In his head, yes. But will I admit I need help? No.
I don't know how Keltie films, talks, and then does her activity.
I don't want to brag, but being a YouTuber is the hardest job on earth. I mean, I talk to a camera while doing things. If that isn't rocket science and brain surgery combined, I don't know what is.
Do you need some help?
No, darling. No, you just make things difficult.
Take that back.
Shots fired.
Okay, I'll take it back.
You're right, I'm wrong. Just every man's response to his wife.
Okay, so far so good.
And this just makes me happy knowing they're getting not just enough hours, but quality sleep thanks to temperature, because temperature is so linked to quality sleep. The best thing about 8-sleep is you can change it. If one of your partners sleeps hot, you can have it cold. If one of your partners sleeps cold, you can have it warm. My 2 other favorite features are its gentle, thermal, and vibrating alarm for a peaceful wake up, and its health tracking data such as HRV, heart and respiratory rate, sleep stages, and time asleep. And if you've been interested in getting an 8-sleep mattress, I do have a discount code for you guys. If you click the link down my bio, I know I harp so much on it. I realize it's a luxury item, but for me, and I've invested in my sleep, and ironic, I'm more efficient, I'm more productive, I'm happier, and I was like, now that is a return on investment. Day number 5, I hit a hurdle. Not being able to choose my own food because, as you guys saw, I did my CrossFit First Runner Challenge. I knew whatever Carly was bringing, I was gonna have to eat. At first, I freaked out about this, but then I realized moderation and not stressing, especially when it's social. Because I think connection is actually the biggest, most important thing to blue zones. I think of just in Italy, in the Yes Theory documentary, they showed them drinking, smoking, not ideal for longevity, but it just shows how important human connection is. So there's no point me stressing over whatever I was gonna eat on this day because I was being social while doing it. And ironically, this happened. Carly brought me this beautiful bowl.
In the documentary, they talk about this area in Costa Rica, and it's like 20 minutes away from where I used to live in Nicaragua. And I feel like the reason I eat the way I do now is because I learned so much about diet and everything local down there, and just the way that they cook with like beans and sweet potatoes and squash and corn.
This is like legit. I was like, this is better than any of the recipes I've shown you guys so far. I was like, to a T. The 3rd Blue Zone protocol, positive outlook. 1, unwind regularly. 2, finding faith. And 3, a sense of purpose. Okay, I just finished work and stopped at Whole Foods because I cannot cook. I'm bleh. It's just one of those days, peak anxiety and just everything seems to be going wrong and just you want to cry. I don't think it's unique. This is just start a Q4 people. And I know I should cook, but I was like, you know what, just go to Whole Foods, go to the pre-made section and get what you can get. So I got this orzo and this like Tex-Mex tofu. But funny enough, the last couple days kind of isolated. I needed it a little bit, but like, I don't know. I'm just in a bit of a funk. One of the biggest things in the blue zones is social connection. Sometimes I sadly lack just working for myself. I live alone half the year. I'm in a long distance relationship. But ironically enough, when I left Whole Foods, I ran into my stepsister. It just instantly made me feel so much better. Even though I'm an extrovert, I think like talking to people when I'm exhausted is gonna make me more exhausted, but every time it doesn't. This is so random, but it's got orzo, beans, some peppers, tofu. I feel it's very blue zone. Let's go a kick. The 4th protocol. The older I get, the more important I realize this is connection. Number 1, family first. 2, partnership. And 3, finding the right tribe. Day 6, breakfast. A lot of the blue zones don't actually have breakfast, but their first meals usually do contain organic oats, nuts, seeds, pasture-raised dairy and eggs, sourdough bread, and fresh selection of organic fruits and vegetables. I had some sourdough bread, tomatoes, and olive oil, Italy-inspired. Day 7, we went a little Greece-inspired. So what are my thoughts after doing this for a week? First pro, it was fun to try new recipes. I feel anytime I try new recipes, really have a hands-on approach to food, really remember where my food came from, I'm just always happier. 2, it was delicious. And 3, it did remind me to connect with people and just have a good mental place when I eat, whether it be relax beforehand, remember the bigger picture. Now for cons. 1, the lack of protein. I love protein. I find when I don't eat enough protein, my energy dips. But this is where I'm kind of iffy about the blue zones the more I think about it. Now this got me thinking, I tend to follow a lot of these biohacking bros.
Let's definitely go down that route.
You know my love of Andrew Huberman, Peter Attia, and also David Sinclair. I consume all of their things. Now I'm not a scientist, but my own meta-analysis, I've noticed something. Protein. Now there's 2 different kind of opposing sides in the debate of protein and longevity. First, muscle equals longevity.
Of the macronutrients, protein is definitely the biggest lever that you can pull.
Protein equals muscle. So if we have more muscle, we'll live longer. And that is definitely Peter Attia's take. One of the biggest things that kills you when you're older is falling. When you have muscle, if you fall, you're less likely to hurt yourself, and you're also just simply less likely to fall because you're stronger. Now, David Sinclair, on the opposite side,
how much protein you're getting. If you eat a lot of meat, it'll be regulated in a way that's not as conducive to as when you have a limited amount of protein.
Protein can speed up some processes that can lead to disease. And so it's kind of catch-22. What does catch-22 mean? It's an impossible situation because you cannot do one thing until you do another. Where does it come from? It's from a novel in 1961 called Catch-22. The more you know. In some ways, protein may make disease come faster, and in some ways, not having enough protein in muscle can kill you faster. But here's my one thing that I'm thinking moving forward. I'm reading Peter Attia's book, Outlive. And the takeaway is kind of, the research we have on nutrition is kind of really small. We don't really know that much, but the one thing we know a lot about is exercise. Now me as a non-medical professional with just a basic science degree, biased opinion, here's what I think. I think we tend to hyper-focus way too much on what these blue zones are eating and not how much they're moving. All these people never stop moving. They continue to garden even in their late age. They make their food. They're constantly moving, and they use food as a way to connect. And it's foods that are locally grown, seasonal, whole foods that they make with their hands. And I'm not saying nutrition doesn't matter. I'm just saying there's so much conflicting research that how are we ever supposed to know right now? Doesn't mean we stop researching and say, who cares? I just mean, I wonder if we shouldn't be as crazy about our food choices as we think. Food for thought. That was this challenge. Let me know any other challenges you guys want. I have some big ones coming up. I've got my year challenges coming up at the end of January, and I'm super excited for them. So if you guys are new here, hit subscribe and you want to see them. But most importantly, have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye. Okinawa. Okinawa. Do you know how to say that? Japan? Okinawa? I'm going to say that one last. True. I should just have him film, just the voice changes. If you don't mind.
Okinawa?
Perfect.